Hey guys, today I made a video about drawing an eye like this, this kind of thing, and kind of realized that actually that's a fair bit of work and a lot of steps, and I thought I'd just make another little video just how we could make some eyes a little bit easier, just because it's a little bit more fun to draw stuff that's not overly complicated. And sometimes you just want to have something that you can doodle. So I'll try to show you a way to draw eyes. It's kind of based on like manga drawing. So you can see I started out with kind of like a C shape, another C shape, so that's going to be your iris. I've put a little bit of a swish under it, coming up, flicking up at the end. This is going to be the inside of the eye, this is the outside of the eye. And then I've kind of joined relatively straight but sort of slightly curving, and then it's going to swish down at this side. So it comes up and then up, and then swishes up like that. So we get this kind of nice eye shape. So the nose would be here, and then this is the eye. So then we want to draw like a little Pac-Man shape, and we'll just leave out a little space of white. So the Pac-Man's facing to the upper right, that way, for people who remember what Pac-Man is. Now we can color the whole. We have to leave a sort of circle here where the reflection is going to be. We can color the whole iris in. Except for that circle. And then we want to make a shadow on the top, except for that little white circle. And we want to make some eyelashes, and they curve. And they curve away from the eye. And sometimes they curve down. But away from the eye. Get the direction right. And there we have it. A nice easy eye to draw. A lot easier than the other one. Why this works is because when you look at the knife from the side, you can see you do get a shadow cast from the eyelid that sits above the eye, and then you get a bit of reflected light on the pupil, and then the iris is like a middle tone. So this shadow here is there because it's underneath this eyelid, and then there's a bit of a highlight on the white of the eye as well. So yeah, if you want to run through that again, go through it step by step. So you're basically drawing an incomplete circle, like so. You might want to do this with me and keep up. So yeah, draw that incomplete circle. Then you draw your little Pac-Man right in the middle. And you might leave out a big chunk, and then you sort of imagine a circle that's overlapping the pupil and the iris. So the iris is the colored part of the eye. The iris is going to be like, eventually it's going to be covered in a sort of a middle tone. So not particularly dark, not particularly light. Now the inside of the eye swoops down. The outside of the eye swoops up a little bit. This is a kind of like manga cartoon style or anime style eye, if you like. Yeah, you can even stylize the eyelashes a bit if you want. Thicker at the bottom. 1, 2, 3 strokes. 1, 2, 3 stroke. 1, 2, 3 stroke. 1, 2, 3 stroke. Notice that they're all like shining away from the eye itself. Remember coloring the iris middle tone, pupil nice and black and overlapping with that white shiny bit. Now remember, this is a really important part. Put that shadow at the top of the eye. It can even be like as far as halfway down if you want. If you want to get really fancy, you can put a super light shadow on the white bit like that. Yeah. Still the same basic idea as the more advanced eye that I drew before. It's still the same basic shading, like the light is underneath the eyelid. So there's a shadow, and then there's a highlight, and it overlaps the pupil, and then a bit of light catches in the iris. And so it's a bit lighter at the bottom, but you get the shadow of it at the top. In manga cartoons, it's a lot more formal, but you get stronger lines and stuff. Yeah, if you want to go the whole way and draw a whole face with the manga thing, it's basically a circle, and you sort of tack a bit of a chin on it, find the halfway point. That's where your eyes are gonna go. Oops, you can't see that. So I start that from scratch. So yeah, you kind of come up with a circle shape. Imagine like a bit of a chin stuck on the bottom of it. Divide it in half, long ways, divide it in half, up and down ways. And that's where your eyes are going to go. Now with manga, so this is the outline of your head. I draw it a bit bigger. Then the eyes are really big. They're not in normal proportion. Little Pac-Man pupils, the top of the eye, and then shadow under that, and then boom, 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 shadow under it, middle tone, halfway down again, bottom of the nose, doesn't need to be much. And we can say halfway down again, or 1/3 down. I like 1/3 down, and then a little dot under there. And then manga cartoons always have these crazy banana pineapple hairstyle. Voila. Yeah, anyway, have a crack at that, and hope you enjoy it. Yeah, and you can play around too with the smudging a little bit with, say, with a little bit of tissue paper or something, whatever's at hand. Kind of smooths out some of the effects, and you might need to play around with the tissue paper on one hand, defining things, coming back with your pencil, reinforcing the line so it's not all too fuzzy. And probably, almost definitely, you'll need to get, if you do smudging, you'll need to get your eraser out and redefine some things too. So, but it's kind of fun. I like this. The reason I'm doing this and the eye idea is that I really want you guys to have something that you can, you've got those days where you're just sort of at a loose end, or you're just hanging out waiting for something to happen. You can doodle. It's fun to have things that you sort of doodle regularly, because you'll find over the years you just get better and better at it, and it's fun. It's a kind of a fun thing to play with, making up faces, or you might even make up a whole story or something like that. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that and maybe learned something, and see you next week.